box and win, amateur and pro. His trainer shared his dream. The bigger the stage, the more he enjoyed it. As he stepped up, he knew he'd be tested, but he handled any crisis. A British title was won, and on into international class. The wins look better. The crowds got bigger too. Manchester had a new hero. He thrilled them, and they loved him because he stayed close to home. But the big names brought out the best in him, and now he gets what he's always dreamt of.
Mission accomplished. He stays on track.
The thunder from down under, Kostya Tszyu.
The proven and undisputed world #1 at light welterweight. One of the world's finest pound for pound. And this is the big one. Live tonight on Sky Box Office, it's Ricky Hatton against Kostya Tszyu for the world light welterweight title. And the world looks to Manchester tonight. And for the city, this is the biggest, richest sporting event ever staged. And it's on tonight at the MEN Arena. They sold the tickets out in 2 hours 4 months back. It's been the talk of the town ever since. This fight, and these fans who followed Hatton's every move, this is what they have believed their man was made for in Manchester. A night like this, and a fight like this. And they're going to enjoy it. Well, support might win it for him, but really and truly, Ricky Hatton fights alone. But he does have the whole of Britain behind him tonight. Ever since Lennox Lewis departed the scene, we have been waiting for a major world star of our own in this sport. And maybe Ricky Hatton can seize the opportunity that presents itself tonight, but he is up against one of the world's very best in any weight division. You're welcome along on Sky Box Office, of course. With us, Glenn McCrory, Nicky Piper and Barry McGuigan leading our team. You know all about big fights, but what about this as an opportunity for the sport in Britain tonight, Glenn?
Well, I think that the sport in Britain needs it. It's a fantastic opportunity. It's a fantastic night for boxing. The fact that we've got one of the great fighters in the world today competing in Manchester, competing against our best fighter, really is something to really look forward to.
Nicky, can we permit ourselves to dream of the right result here for Britain?
I think so. You know, undisputed world title fights don't come along very often, certainly not in Britain. And this would be a tremendous win for us tonight. It's really, I wouldn't bet on this fight. Anything can happen. It's a really, really tough one to call.
Barry, you saw them queuing up to get in here as quickly as possible. The expectation and the belief around Hatton is incredible. But he wants to be even bigger than this, and that's what this is all about, surely. He wants to expand from this, doesn't he?
He said this is a crucial part in his career. He feels that he's going to be elevated after tonight to another zenith. He feels that tonight is going to be the biggest night of his life. It has to be. He has to perform better than ever before. This place could have been sold out 3 times over. What a fight, what an occasion.
And a marvellous pair of professionals throughout the build-up, it must be said. Dignity, respect and professionalism all week, including the weigh-in. But there was one final formality to observe, and Adam Smith watched it today.
The IBF officials arrived at Ricky Hatton's home in Hyde at 1 o'clock this afternoon to reweigh the hitman. IBF rules state that the fighters must not exceed 10 pounds over the 10-stone limit at the second weigh-in. Behind closed curtains, Hatton was comfortably inside and ready to go.
I've got out of bed and I've weighed the same weight today as I would normally do without this new rule, you know, so it's perfect. Everything just seems to be going great.
The weight made, it was off for his traditional pre-fight fry-up, a little later than usual, so the local Butty Box Cafe was opened up just for Ricky. Exactly 12 hours before the fight of his life, the same old ritual, much to the horror of conditioner Kerry Kays. But after eating healthily for weeks, this much-needed psychological warmer.
from a mental point of view, and that's all it basically is. It just makes me feel a lot better to have a little bit of grease in me.
The dream going to come true?
It is going to come true. I've said all along, you know, obviously it was the day of the fight, so I'm extremely nervous, you know, at the task in front of me, but it's a good nervous because I'm brimming with confidence, so yeah, I'm going to do it.
Brimming with confidence, he says, Barry. How does he look and sound to you?
He hasn't, his demeanour hasn't changed the whole way through this fight. That's why I'm so impressed with him. He's trained with that air of confidence about him. He's prepared, despite all the critics, despite all the aficionados saying that he hasn't got a chance. He believes that he firmly will win tonight and will win in style.
Kostya Tszyu arrived here just a few moments ago. An air of electricity is the only way to say it, Nicky, really, that has surrounded him all week. Is there anything in what he'll encounter here tonight at the MEN Arena that he might find difficult to deal with, even given all he's achieved?
I think it takes a very, very hard man not to be affected by this sort of atmosphere tonight. And I don't believe he will, though. I think he is the consummate professional. I think he is terrific, and may affect him slightly, but it may work in his favour. He'll just get more nervous.
Yeah, at 35 though, I mean, this is the thing. You know, he's never going to be. He hasn't been in with somebody like Ricky Hatton, who's going to come at this age. You know, has he got the legs? Ricky Hatton can really work hard, puts a lot of fire in there. It's going to be tough even for Kostya Tszyu.
We want your views on the big one too. You can text the keyword box and your message and your name. Don't forget that. to 84401. Texts cost 25 pence. Network charges may vary. Ricky Hatton is the man taking on the very best in the world in Kostya Tszyu tonight, but of course here at the MEN Arena it's a home fight, and that confers certain advantages for the hitman, who had a game of darts before he decided to leave for the venue this evening. Let's hope his aim is as good later here. And they even laid on a bit of rain on the night of the fight. Tszyu actually said when he arrived in Manchester, everybody tells me it rains here all the time. I've seen it for 2 days. Well, it's been pouring down this afternoon. Ricky missed most of the crowds coming late. He knows this trip so well, of course. 11 of his last 14 fights have been at the MEN Arena here. And yes, they did let him in. I just get the impression tonight that he just cannot wait for it to get started, any more than we can. So Ricky is here. Kostya Tszyu, as we've seen, is here for the fight that's got everyone talking.
I think Ricky's getting better and better. He's a tremendous strength he's shown in his last few performances, and I think he's got a great chance in front of his own crowd.
I think that Hatton, who's got to make the fight, he's got to go forward, and he's not difficult to hit. And when he tries to throw the left hook to the body, which is his best punch, over will come that terrific right hand that Tszyu possesses, and that's when it will be all over.
The big one, Ricky, if he doesn't get hit going back, it's not going forward. I think the big problem is going back with his hands down, smiling, 22,000 people roaring. That's when he can get caught.
It really got a making of a wonderful fight for Great Britain. If Ricky can get over the first 5 or 6 rounds, I think he's got a wonderful opportunity, but he's going to go through hell for the first 5 or 6 rounds. But I really, in my heart, would love to see it.
Almost all of my colleagues give Ricky Hatton no chance. I don't feel that way. Maybe because I've been here before and seen him and seen the energy that flows when he fights. I give him a real good chance. He has to get inside, stay inside, take away Tszyu's advantages, set a fast pace, and fight the fight of his life. I think he's capable of doing it.
unbeaten, still going places.
And how they love him here at the MEN Arena. This has been Ricky Hatton's fortress, and he's gone from strength to strength here. But nights like this, and atmospheres like this, as Adam Smith reminds us, are no sort of threat to Kostya Tszyu.
Intriguing, mysterious, sensational. Kostya Tszyu, the Australian-based Russian, whose blend of skill, ringcraft and power have made him one of the finest light welterweights of all time.
What's the secret behind your success and your longevity?
Not shortcuts. From the time I started till now, I train even harder than in the past. This is your job. It's very, very simple. It's called attitude. Attitude of life. This is how I live.
Groomed in Russian poverty, Tszyu fought his way to amateur stardom before a move to Sydney saw similar adoration and professional prowess. His destructive path to the world title was swift until a crushing defeat to Vince Phillips stalled his rise. Yet Tszyu rebuilt and unified the light welterweight division by blitzing Zab Judah. He hasn't lost since. Tszyu's overcome injury to dispatch top challengers like Shambe Mitchell, and at nearly 36, the desire's still burning.
Sometimes, of course, you think, what, I'm in 35, what else you gonna do? But I'm blocking these thoughts completely. I'm thinking what to do to win the fight and how to do it properly.
Tszyu's the consummate professional. Dedicated and focused, he refuses to look past Ricky Hatton. After the usual meticulous 3-month program, Team Tszyu arrived 2 weeks before fight time for business. Not even the 22,000 partisan crowd will distract his extraordinary mindset.
I am in my tunnel. I'm walking through my tunnel, and there are going to be 100,000 people around me. I won't see it. I won't feel it, because I'm already in myself. I'm going to be so focused that nothing going to bother me.
It's a pleasure to welcome one of the modern greats to our shores, but Kostya Tszyu's determined to break British hearts and continue to control the 10-stone world.
You ready to go?
I am.
Prediction?
Great fight. Great fight. Entertainment from first second to the last.
And Kostya Tszyu will remain the world light welterweight champion?
That's why I'm here.
No doubt.
That's why I'm here.
That message couldn't be any clearer, could it? And much like the man above him, the only man above him in our pound-for-pound rankings right now, consummate, meticulous professionals, Glenn. Maybe that is what has separated them.
That's ever so important. You know, that's the difference between the great fighters, and I think Hopkins and Kostya Tszyu, you know, they are great fighters. And, you know, you just see how good he looks there, how well he speaks, how confident he is. You know, he really has a purpose, and that's what he's going to bring into the ring tonight.
Barry, he told us, I do not take shortcuts.
Yeah, that's his attitude to life. That's the guy. That's him, through and through. The one time he said he wasn't prepared properly, he lost to Vince Phillips. But, you know, take this into consideration. After 14 fights, he fights and wins the world title. He's defended the title, then he loses to Vince Phillips. At one hiccup, he's come back. He's been at the top of the world for 10 years. There's got to be one day he turns up and it's not there anymore. Yeah. And I know...
Yeah, but you see, the way he tells it, yeah. He told us during the week, the 35-year-old Kostya Tszyu beat the 25-year-old Nicky. He says he has actually been improving still.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean, we discussed that earlier. Barry thinks it's physically impossible. Experience plays a big part, you know, and I think his training, he's developed that. He thinks he's training better than ever. He's in bed by 9 o'clock every night. He lives the life of a professional boxer like no other.
You've got more experience. You've got that confidence in yourself, in your own ability, and you've just got that little bit extra knowledge, you know, that a youngster hasn't got.
The big issue is he hasn't fought more than 3 competitive rounds in a couple of years. That's going to be the big issue. What's he going to be like when he's put under intense pressure?
All that coming for boxing fans this summer on Sky Sports. And we should also say that we've had some unbelievable fights on Sky Sports recently. Adam Smith has got 1 or 2 of the men who featured in them.
Absolutely, they're being treated like heroes down here. Jeff Lacey, Ronald Winky Wright and Diego Corrales. And Diego, you were in one of the great fights of all time against Jose Luis Castillo when you came back from the brink, and you're still with us. Unbelievable, wasn't it?
It was great. It was a great night. I had a lot of fun with that. It was the chance to show my will. It was great.
I mean, unified the lightweight titles, but tactics seemed to go out of the window, didn't they? You just went toe-to-toe from the first bell and excited everybody.
No, absolutely. I'm telling you what, we knew what we were going to do from the start. That was our plan from the start, to fight on the inside, and that's what we were going to do.
And then the two knockdowns in round 10.
10th round happens, we begin 10th round, and I mean, he had been throwing that jab to the body, left hook up top all night long, and the one time he switches it up and throws it to the body, I rolled right into it. The second knockdown was the accumulation of shots. I mean, I was still kind of dizzy from the first one, so it was the accumulation of shots.
They're calling it the greatest comeback in boxing history. How did you pull yourself up off the floor, as we could see you there, and find something in your soul to keep you in it?
You know what? I just knew I wasn't going to lose. I said hell or high water, and I meant that heart and soul. And I'll tell you what, he let me get him with the right hand, and it was over from there. Once he opened up the right hand, I just followed through with everything else and was not going to let him get off the hook.
You made each other that night. You'll both be remembered. You're thinking of coming up, aren't you, to the light welterweight division, maybe tackling the winner of Ricky Hatton, Kostya Tszyu?
It's never nothing. It's not part of my mind. You know, I love great fights. I love a great challenge, and either one of those guys would be a great challenge. So it's not far from my mind.
Ronald Winky Wright, of course, the masterclass over Felix Trinidad recently. Enjoy that one?
Oh, I enjoyed it a lot. You know what I mean? It was a long time coming, and I'm glad I gave the fans what they wanted to see.
Are you excited to be back in Britain? I mean, the fans love you for when you came over, and you've got Hatton Tszyu tonight. Looking forward to it.
Yes. I'm looking forward to this fight. It's going to be a great fight. I'm glad to be back here. I fought here a couple of times, and, you know, the fans was always greeting to me, so I'm just happy to be here.
Jeff Lacey, of course, you got to fight Robin Reed, another Brit, maybe Joe Calzaghe later in the year, and maybe do what Winky did, take out some of our Brits.
I'm just following the footsteps of my boy right here. We're just going to keep doing it.
You're looking forward to tonight. You think our man Ricky Hatton can pull this off?
Ricky got his hands full tonight. He's going to go out there and really establish a good jab and really get the confidence in his boxing ability, and later perhaps take him into the later rounds and win a unanimous decision.
It's a pleasure to have you all with us. Thanks. Enjoy the show.
Thank you.
When they come, you know it's a big night. Normally, you only see a lineup like that in Las Vegas. Everybody wants to be at this one tonight and enjoy what has been a fine weekend for everyone who could make it.
Hitman's Fight Night tonight.
Fight fevers hit Manchester this weekend. The bars are full to bursting with Hitman fans, and some of those lucky enough to have the hottest tickets in town have been making a meal of the big occasion. Dining in style for starters, with the main course still to come.
Oh, can't wait, mate, can't wait at all. Ricky's going to smash him to bits.
Can't wait to get there and watch Ricky do him.
Looking forward to it for months. Good night.
Some journeying much further than others for this historic night.
I travelled here for 10 hours, all the way to Manchester to support Kostya Tszyu.
And the former world champions present could perhaps sympathise better than anyone with the pressure Hatton's facing.
I'll probably be a bit nervous for Ricky because most fighters do get that way, but I'm eagerly looking forward to it, and it's going to remind me of the old days. Well, I've got the same sort of nerves what I used to have when I was boxing, and I feel that for Ricky, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people tonight and win it.
And as the meal ended, the arguments continued as to who will win tonight.
As much as I'm a Mancunian, it's got to be with the opposition tonight.
I honestly believe that Ricky will put him away probably about the 8th hole now.
Kostya Tszyu won 7.
It's going to be wham bam, thank you ma'am, and Ricky's going to be holding the belt a hell up.
Well, they're all in here now, and like the rest of us, they cannot wait for the big one to get underway. Next, though, after the break, one of Manchester's young men with potential, live, David Barnes, bidding for the Commonwealth welterweight title. With Barnes, we need to get back down to ringside, Glenn. Big box office night here, of course. Adam Smith's got a man who knows how to draw crowds at the box office also.
Yeah, phenomenal to have Russell Crowe here, who, of course, is playing James Braddock in the Cinderella Man story. And you trained alongside Kostya Tszyu back home. What did you learn from him?
I learned a hell of a lot from Kostya Tszyu. He's probably one of the most formidable athletes that I've ever come across. You know, his training regimen is second to none. And he taught me a lot, and he also very kindly allowed me to begin to explore the mental side of boxing, you know, which is even as significant as the physical side.
The great trainer Angelo Dundee was looking after you, and he had some words about Kostya, didn't he?
Angelo Dundee calls Kostya Tszyu the best pound-for-pound fighter he has ever seen in his life, and he's seen a few fighters.
So, is Kostya Tszyu going to break British hearts here, or is there a Cinderella Man story for Ricky Hatton?
Well, I think the cleverest thing that Ricky Hatton has done is not try to beat Kostya Tszyu with words, because that never works. Just ask Sean Mitchell and just ask Zab Judah. You call him fat and old and you're going to die. The greatest thing about Ricky, and it's increased my respect for him tenfold as well, is he knows who he's fighting, you know, and I'm sure he's done the preparation and he's got good men around him, so it's going to be a fight tonight, mate.
Does Tszyu take the title home, or do we get it here?
Let's have a look, but I tell you what, in my heart, it's got to be KT, mate.
Thanks a lot, Russell. Brilliant.
Everyone is here tonight. And we mentioned strictly no admittance after 11:30 here at the MEN Arena. There were... This is it then. This is where Ricky Hatton made his name, built his career in this very arena. 38 fights, 38 wins. But this time against Kostya Tszyu, he is out of the comfort zone. Adam Smith.
This is the moment of truth for Ricky Hatton. At 26 and unbeaten in 38 fights.
Kostya Tszyu is a step up from Oliveira and Vince Phillips and Ben Taki, but the ease in which I've won at the level I've been fighting at, I think shows I can bridge the gap.
After ferocious late-night training, they're both physically perfect, but the huge hype must have added pressure mentally. Hatton enters the ring with home advantage, but Tszyu starts odds-on favourite.
I'm very, very comfortable what I've seen on the tapes of Ricky. I've seen all of the fights in the last, say, good 5 years. I know what to expect.
So, the wise old pro or the bright young hope? Tszyu has the experience and ring craft, Hatton the youth and body shots. Tszyu possesses the power and timing, Hatton the tenacity and fire. There are many scenarios.
I'm a universal fighter. I can do lots of different things. And that's a danger for my opponent, because they don't know what to expect.
Nobody has seen the best of me. I mean, I've not had to show half of what I've got, because I don't think the opponents haven't been good enough to bring that out of me. Obviously, Kostya Tszyu will be good enough, and I think that will make the difference.
Can Tszyu control the ring and back Hatton up? Or at nearly 36, will Father Time catch him up? Will Hatton even survive the early rounds? And if so, will he elect to box or test Tszyu's strength inside?
I've got to show a good defence, good movement, good speed, cover the distance quick. But I feel I've got the tools to, you know, to do the job.
We know how brilliant Tszyu's been. We don't know how good Hatton might be. This is the one where all the questions will be answered.
Kostya Tszyu will remain the world light welterweight champion.
That's why I'm here.
I just believe I'm going to win the title.
I've been boss for so many years, and I will be boss there.
It's the day you dream of, to become the undisputed champion, and I believe I'm going to do it.
The opportunity, Glenn, he's been crying out for, and it's here at last. Is it something we can believe in? The bigger the challenge, the better Ricky Hatton will acquit himself.
Look at Ricky Hatton as a youngster. Look at Ricky Hatton all the way through the professionals. He's done everything that's been asked of him. He's always give his best. We've looked at him all through his career and thought there's something special in this young man. Now he's got his chance to prove it. He's got the best person in the world to prove it against, and I think he can.
Looks in tremendous condition. He's really warmed up like a professional. He's sweating. We love to see that. I just hope the ring walk isn't too long. Of course, he's got a long way to the start, you know, through all the proceedings. But he looks right up for this, as we knew he would be. And the support behind us is tremendous. It's going to be a really, really terrific atmosphere when he comes out. Looking really good to me.
Barry, you did tell us when you went to see Hatton training that his training was of a far higher level than anything before. Was that borne out at the weigh-in?
Yeah, he looked absolutely magnificent at the weigh-in. Far more chiselled than Kostya Tszyu. perfect, couple of ounces under the weight, absolutely spot on. You know, Kostya Tszyu took 50 minutes to make the weight. I know it was only a couple of ounces, but you know, it is important, it is significant.
Did Hatton look better than previously for you?
Yeah, without a doubt. He has been looking better over the last couple of times.
Now, Kostya Tszyu got on the scales, Nicky, and there was well, we don't know if it was a real scale or if it was just a very slight misjudgment, but he was just about 3 ounces over the 10-stone limit for the first time of asking, and then he made quite a song and dance about losing 3 ounces.
Right.
It took him 50 minutes.
Okay.
Was he trying to, famously, as he's done in the past, turning a negative into a positive?
Yeah, I mean, could well be. I mean, whether he really worked hard for that length of time, we don't know.
think he had to.
Exactly, yes. He probably went for a P and made it that way, and this could be mind games going on, but you know, I don't think anybody will be affected by mind games tonight. Hatton has got some tremendous support. Tszyu, I must admit, I thought possibly wouldn't be affected by this, but you know, it's affecting me. It's so loud here.
Well, you heard Russell Crowe. You know, he's watched him fight over the years. His mental strength is as important a tool as any other. Does he bring it to bear again here tonight, Glenn?
Well, I think he certainly does. You know, he's a wonderful champion. You know, he's got the preparation right. He's going to be in superb condition. You know, the danger rounds are the first few rounds. Ricky Hatton's got to keep out of the way of that right hand, keep out of arm's length, in and out of range, keep very, very busy.
Is that what you've been telling him, Barry?
Yeah, he's got to be more side-on. He's got to present more of a side-on angle. He's got to keep that left hand higher, tuck his chin down, jab with Kostya Tszyu. Kostya Tszyu has a unique, inimitable style, something you can't really plan for. The way you got to deal with it is with a fast jab and a tight guard, keeping that left jab out in front of you, covers your chin for the first couple of rounds, but he's got to press this guy back, and he's got to keep the tempo high.
I think everybody's talking about the big right hand of Kostya Tszyu. I can see the left hook to Hatton's temple as Hatton throws his own left hook being a real danger. You know, hooks against somebody like Hatton who comes in hooking himself, coming from side to side, can be very effective, and I just hope he doesn't concentrate solely on that right hand, because, you know, Tszyu's got everything else too.
Thank you. Back down to Adam at ringside.
Yeah, 22,000 here, tingling with anticipation, none more so than Frank and Johnny. Frank, you've been at a world title, into it so many times before. The final moments for Ricky Hatton, what will be going through his mind?
A lot of different things that he's gone through for the 14 months that he's been training, you know what I mean? Positive things have been going through. It's been nerve-wracking for him, you know what I mean? But he'll be up for it, should be up for it, you know what I mean?
Is it about controlling the nerves and getting the tactics spot on from the first bell?
The nerves are called the beast. You've got to control the beast, and the beast will help you fight the way you want to fight. Ricky's got to go out there, make sure his pace controls the fight. Tszyu's done everything possible to know about Ricky Hatton. He's watched all the videos, he's heard all the rumours. Now, the only thing he hasn't got is the reality of actually boxing Ricky. So Ricky's got to jump on him straight away, work at his own pace, and jump on him within the first 5 rounds, do whatever he possibly can.
What's the best bit of advice you could give Ricky Hatton to deal with the power of Tszyu?
Try to ignore the crowd and concentrate on what he wants to do, what he's been working on for 14 months. Focus on that, you know what I mean? And just hope it's his time, you know?
Is it about getting through the first few rounds and then coming on strong?
I think in the first few seconds you'll see, you know what I mean? Definitely come on strong later on, but watch him all the time. Don't get into a war with him, because this guy can punch, and he's a legend, and he's a good fighter.
I know your heart says Ricky Hatton. What do you really think will happen, though? What does your head say?
My head tells me Tszyu about round 8. My heart tells me Ricky's got to just jump on him and do him inside 5 rounds. Ricky's got everything going for him, and anything he does, you know, everything's possible.
He's got the support, Paul.
Mike Tyson appeared here a few years back, and we thought we had never experienced anything like it again at the MEN Arena. This one beats it for tingling anticipation. 80 countries taking this. That's why Ricky Hatton can make his name worldwide. It's next. Was good, and another one! The thunder from down under, indeed. That's why he's number one. For the young man made in Manchester, this is what he has wanted most. For British boxing, what we always want to see. The recognised best in the world coming to appear here. But will all this lift Ricky Hatton, or will Kostya Tszyu yet again prove what has made him special? It's been a night to remember already. Let's hope the best is in front of us. Down to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the bout you've all been waiting for. Prepare to welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger from Manchester, England, Ricky the Hitman Hatton.
And amid this incredible atmosphere, just check out this reception tonight for Ricky Hatton. A 22,000 sellout crowd. Of reckoning for Ricky Hatton after 38 straight victories. Tickets sold in 2 hours flat for this promotion. The night and the fight that we've all been waiting for in Hatton's career as he takes on one of the modern greats. Jim, what will be going through his mind now, do you think?
Well, for the first time in Ricky's professional career, he's actually the underdog. He's never been the underdog before, so much expected of him. Maybe being the underdog will relax him slightly, but he knows he faces one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the game today. I mean, last night I was compiling a list of the weaknesses of Kostya Tszyu, and I got stuck at number 1. There is no department of the game where Tszyu is short of anything. This is a massive challenge for Ricky Hatton. We know how honest Ricky is. We know he will give it every last thing he has. But boy, what a tough job he has on his hands.
There's his mum and dad, Ray, the former Manchester City fullback, and Carol. What must they be thinking? How nervous must they be at this moment? Stablemates are there as well with Ricky Hatton. His little mascot, James Bowers, is here, thanking all the fans for their support. But none of these fans can get in the ring and help him. He knows the job he has to do, then can he do it? Steve Collins, among the many, many world champions at ringside to watch this. They're all here tonight, celebrities, stars from all walks of life.
And making his way to the ring, here comes the defending world champion from Sydney, Australia, Kostya Tszyu.
One of the most revered fighters of the era, Kostya Tszyu, who grew up in the industrial wasteland where they make the tracks for the Trans-Siberian Railway. Hardened by beatings in the gym from older boys when he was a kid. Later he ran barefoot on the snow and did push-ups on crushed glass. That's how hard this man is. He's only ever lost once, and that was 8 years ago. And he's beaten nearly all the top men out there at 10 stone. But he is 35 now, so you never know when age might kick in.
Yeah, but no signs of decline. We have to remember this man has spent the last 10 years doing what Ricky Hatton hopes he can do. We know what this man's capable of. We've seen him doing it. He was a world-class amateur, world-class boxer, world-class puncher. There are no weaknesses in his makeup whatsoever. We have to hope against hope that maybe Father Time does start to catch up with him. It's a long time since he's been in a tough fight. Only 3 rounds in the last couple of years. Okay, we're making a case for Ricky Hatton, but I have to be honest, Ian, I'm doing my best to make that case. You really have to favour this man strongly, but we wish Ricky all the best for taking this challenge on.
Tszyu tests out the ropes, skips into the ring. He's not really getting that hostile a reception, is he? I thought it would be a lot hotter for him.
But you have to appreciate when a superstar is in your midst. That's what this man has been.
Here's the tail of the tape for this massive fight. Probably the biggest fight in this country for 10 years. So, let's check it out. Hatton is 26, he's 9 years younger. That might be a factor if it becomes a long fight here. Hatton a little bit taller, slight reach advantage for Tszyu, who was right on the limit, but was originally 3 ounces over. Bit unprofessional that, not really like him, but not much. Hatton was just inside and looked great at the weigh-in. Tszyu has been a professional for 13 years, Hatton for 8. Hatton's actually had more fights than Tszyu at a much, much more demanding level, and that is key. Hatton, for once, is not the favourite. Although there's been a flood of money for him, Hatton is 11-8 against now. It was as much as 2-1, a bit more than that in places. Tszyu 15-8 on. The draw 25-1, and we are just about all set. Here is Jimmy Lennon Jr., one of the great MCs in the world.
Before we begin our action, ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to ask you to please be upstanding for the playing of the national anthems of both Australia and England. Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, live and exclusive across the UK on Sky Box Office, and to our boxing fans joining us around the world, a very good evening to you and welcome to the MEN Arena here in Manchester, England, as it's time for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Frank Warren Sports Network in association with Vlad Wharton's Millennium Events, Sky Box Office, and Showtime, as sponsored by Parliament Vodka and 3. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation, the president Marion Mohammed, the supervisor Rob Scott, along with the British Boxing Board of Control, the steward in charge Charles Giles. Introducing at this time are 3 judges scoring this bout for ringside. From Oneida Castle, New York in the United States, Don Ackerman. From Paris, France, Alfred Asaro. From San Sebastian, Spain, Manuel Marichalar. And our third man of the ring, the referee in charge, working in this his 91st world title bout, Dave Paris. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Welterweight or Light Welterweight Championship of the world. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Manchester, England, it's showtime! Introducing to you first on my right, the challenger, fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing blue trunks with black and silver trim, proudly representing his home of Manchester, England. He weighed in at 9 stone, 13 3/4 pounds, or 139 3/4 US pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring, 38 wins, no losses, 28 big wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, he is the challenger, but holds the WBU Light Welterweight Championship. Please welcome the sensational IBF #1 ranked light welterweight contender. Here is boxing's pride of Manchester, introducing the undefeated Ricky Hitman Hatton. And his opponent across the ring, the defending champion. On my left, fighting out of the red corner, wearing a black trunks, fighting out of Sydney, Australia, by way of Sarov, Russia. He weighed in at 10 stone even, or right at the limit of 140 US pounds. His record stands at 31 wins, 1 defeat, 1 no decision, with 25 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former undisputed world champion. Here is the 2-time and current IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the world, introducing Kostya Tszyu. Once again, a referee in charge, Dave Paris, now to give instruction.
You both in the dressing room, boys, you know what I expect. Keep your punches on target, punch with the knuckle part of the glove. If one of you goes down, the other goes to the furthest reach of the corner. Break one, I tell you to defend yourself at all times. Good luck to you both.
Referee Dave Paris, whose job away from the ring is as a film extra, playing walk-on parts. He's got a starring role tonight, all right, the biggest appointment of his career. Tszyu totally concentrated, as he always is, shutting out the crowd. Hatton, I thought, looked a bit pensive beforehand. He's fought this fight 1,000 times in his head. Can he do it for real? This is the master's degree, of course, for Ricky Hatton.
Well, he's charging right out. I'd rather had a little look at Tszyu, see how the jab was coming, see what was in his mind, but he's going to do things the way he always does them. So this is going to be a war.
Hatton wants to get on the inside, and he thinks that his speed can take him there, and he thinks he might be stronger than Tszyu when he gets there. But is he? And what gaps will Tszyu take advantage of? He studied every Hatton fight frame by frame, says he knows Hatton better than Hatton knows himself. Hatton got in with a good little left hook as they worked on the inside there. It's messy. Hatton won't mind it in close, where he can deny Tszyu leverage, but this is a very, very hard-hitting fighter. Good jab that from Hatton. And there's a left hook though from Tszyu. It's not only the right hand you have to worry about. He can't be hit by too many of this guy's punches because every punch is like a kick from a mule.
But the main thing is he's making Tszyu work. Tszyu's not covering up, he's not giving way, he's fighting back, and at 35 this is the first thing that Hatton must do. Make this 35-year-old man and these 35-year-old legs work, and that's what he's doing. This is a good positive start from Ricky. Not reckless but aggressive.
The jab, very, very good. He's making Tszyu think all right. Tszyu's often a slow starter, though. He was against Zab Judah, then demolished him in the second round. Holding behind the head, bit of rabbit punching.
Yeah, well, Ricky's roughing him up. That's what they want to see as well. Hatton did not take his eyes off Tszyu during the introductions. He is fired up for this. Right.
Tszyu is undoubtedly the #1 man in the world at this weight. Can Hatton prove that he is tonight by beating him?
What will Tszyu think when he finds out Hatton can do this for 12 rounds? It's untidy, but that's Tszyu's fault because he's the one tying up. He's the one who does not like to fight at this pace. He's a thinker.
It's a good start this by Hatton so far.
He's been cut with left hooks, has to. He's lost his carefulness now. He needs that chin down, he needs the hands up to catch the counters.
Pressure has to be educated from Hatton. He has to keep Tszyu thinking. He's driving him back with this jab, though.
These punches are too frantic. You know, there's no real method. This is like charging in, trying to make a statement. There's no real method in what he's doing. And they're not good quality punches, but he's been caught. This is better. But he's getting caught with quality punches on the way in.
Bit square on, and he has been caught with right hands earlier on in his career. Remember, he was down in the first round against Eamon McGee and badly hurt in the second of that. He mustn't get careless, Hatton. Mustn't be drawn in by the emotion of the crowd. He has to be Mr. Cool in there as well, but it's white hot this opening round.
Tszyu is trying to get himself out into the centre of the ring now. Excellent first round, probably on what rate, and Ricky Hatton's calm, but he took too many dangerous punches for my liking.
Billy, the preacher man, Graham, who's been with Hatton all the way. Mick Williamson, the cut man, who might be important. Hatton has cut in the past.
He made a statement that he had to take some punches on the way in. I don't think he can carry on with these tactics because Tszyu, towards the end of the round, was beginning to try to get himself to the centre of the ring. I think he was shocked at the at the tenacity of the attacks, but they weren't quality attacks. He's won the round on my card on what rate, but these are not quality punches from Ricky Hatton. There's a frantic look about him. He has to settle down and find more accuracy.
Stay safe.
The worrying thing is that Tszyu has a way of decoding his opponents, working out what they are doing, and then finding the gaps for his big, heavy shots.
Well, he's just been clipped with a left hook on the way in. Hatton did not give him time to think in the opening round, but he cannot do this. It was too reckless, certainly in the last minute of the round. He's becoming untidy. Dave Parris trying to tidy it up. Ricky's still been caught on the way in. There's no method in what he's doing at the moment.
But I think he has unsettled Tszyu a bit, and when Tszyu has landed, he's taken it all right. He's on top of him. He's trying to break his rhythm. This is what the plan was. Lay on his chest, deny him leverage for punches, wade away, pressure, pressure, pressure all the way, and set a furious pace. Make this 35-year-old fight 3 minutes of every round. See how he likes that.
Well, this is good stuff from Hatton now because he's bullying Tszyu, and he does not like this. He's pushing, he has his body weight back, so there's nothing really in Tszyu's counter punches. Good tactics now from Hatton, a bit more control.
Uppercut on the inside, that might be a key punch for Tszyu. Hatton will have to watch that one. They've worked on that in Tszyu's training camp. But he's been there and seen all this and done it before. Tszyu, he fought in Phoenix where they threw bottles at him when he fought the legend Julio Cesar Chavez. won that in 6 rounds of faded Chavez, it should be said.
Well, Ian, you have to make a thinking fighter work at a pace he doesn't like, he's not comfortable with, and that's what Ricky Hatton's doing. There's still a kind of frantic look about what he's doing, but it's so intense.
He's almost a force of nature in there, Hatton, at the moment. Just so eager, so much hunger, so much desire to realise his dream, but he must be careful.
He's gluing himself to Tszyu at the moment.
Shot was a good one. He's really bustling and trying to wrap up Tszyu on the inside. And the Russian-born Aussie is having some bad moves down the uppercuts. Three in the trot. Super punches. Listen to the crowd. Respond to that. It's a pulsating, turbocharged atmosphere in here as Hatton makes the running early.
Tszyu is a quality champion, a class act, but Hatton is not allowing him to show his class. He's jumping on him and just bullying him.
Not yet, anyway. And the right hand just seemed to move the legs of Tszyu there. He has been down 3 times in his career, including in his only defeat against Vince Phillips, who, of course, has fought both men and actually tipped Tszyu to win this in 6 rounds. Said he was the hardest-hitting fighter he had ever fought in the ring or gym. But this is terrific, I think, from Hatton early on.
Yeah,
really wonderful, intense pressure.
He has to find a way to drop this pace, and that's not going to happen unless he hurts Hatton. He has got to hurt Ricky Hatton. If that doesn't happen, he could be in trouble here.
It's an amazing start, this, from Hatton. He's won both the first 2 rounds, beyond dispute, I think.
Just not because he's inside. You know what he's doing. He's hitting and holding his arms there, mate.
What about this, Jim? What about this atmosphere?
Well, this is wonderful, a wonderful start. This man has not been allowed to show his class, and he knows it. He knows he has massive problems now. Okay, and good solid jab, but Ricky come right through it again. He's not allowing Tszyu to set himself at this. Okay, at times he's reckless, at times, as I've said, there's a frantic look about the punches. They're not quality shots, but he's making Tszyu work, and that was the 3 knockouts, 3 uppercuts, 1, 2, 3, right up through the middle. And look at the worried look on Tszyu's face. He has never had to cope with anything like this.
This is one thing watching the films of Hatton, another thing facing the reality of him. And although Hatton's in charge early, there might be other phases in this fight. Here's round 3 of it. Tszyu might want to make a statement around now sometime.
Tszyu has to start getting his body weight forward and try to back Ricky up. He must have been told that in the corner, and that's what he's about to try and do. He cannot allow Hatton to keep pushing him back the way he's been doing.
We've never seen Hatton put on the back foot, and I think that's what Tszyu is now going to try to do. This is his answer. Let's see if he can do it. Right hand drilled through the middle. So far, so good in terms of Hatton's punch resistance when Tszyu has caught him.
Well, Tszyu knows what's required. He's realised that he's had 2 rounds that he didn't like one single bit, but he knows what's required. He must stop this man in his tracks and try to push him back.
So far he's managed to do this. He mustn't be too gung-ho. He's fighting here at a rarefied level. Hatton, this is not the fading fighters that he's fought before, or the fringe contenders. This is the real deal.
But we've seen Ricky fighting at this pace several times. We've never seen Tszyu fight at this pace. He does not like this.
Especially at the age of 35, Jim. He's only had 3 rounds in the last 2.5 years. The 3 rounds in which he destroyed Charvet Mitchell, it should be said. Still, the Hatton pressure, another right hand. Tszyu's quite easy to hit. He always has been. He's a good boxer as well.
I think Tszyu's come up with the more quality punches in this round. Ricky forcing himself on. Again, there's no method in what he's doing, but he's getting a result. He's still making the man work, but he's been pinned several times, clipping the chin there.
Yeah, he seemed to just rock him a little bit with that one. Just moved him with that left hook, I thought.
But he knew he had to move forward after taking the punch, not back off, and he did the right thing. He's a natural fighter, Ricky, so when something happens, he goes on to automatic pilot and reacts.
Good body shot, left hook from Hatton. That's the trademark shot that's got him this far. Written off by most experts in America who don't give him a prayer with Tszyu. They think he's overhyped and protected, just a great exciting ticket seller. He aims to prove them all wrong here.
He's been caught again as he comes forward. Now another solid right, a couple of solid rights. These are quality punches from Tszyu, and that is the difference between the two at the moment.
Oh, wicked right hand though from Hatton that time. He is walking onto it, he's got a little bit sloppy in his attacks in this round. Charging in a little bit, too square on possibly.
I just like to see him doing as he's doing, but the hands up a little bit tighter and the chin down.
Coming on strong again, Hatton here, after a less impressive opening to this, the third round.
Well, he's taken that was a decent left hook from Tszyu, and he's walked right through it.
Sometimes just shift to the side, but stay on him. But sometimes shift to the side. If you're pushing and shoving, you'll use the same amount of energy as him. You know what I mean? Just stay on him, but sometimes he's to the side, let him fucking go through you. You know what I'm saying? He might stumble through you then he can catch him.
Well, I thought the quality punching of Tszyu took that round for him, but I still feel the tactics are working for Ricky Hatton. He's still making him work. He's making him work every second of the round. And we've seen Ricky do this several times for 12 rounds. Tszyu does not like this. And that a nice little period towards the end of the round when he seemed to get the upper hand, but I thought through the piece, Tszyu was much more accurate. That's the little uppercut which has worked several times here.
Well, one expert said that Kostya Tszyu wasn't born, he was quarried. He really is a hard man from a grim town in Russia. Hatton started fast, Jim. Can he carry it on?
Well, we've seen him do it. The trouble is, this is really physical. He must be feeling the pace because he's doing it in a competitive fight for a change. There was a massive difference. But I would still say he can last the pace like this longer than Tszyu.
He does set a furious pace and fights at about 150 miles an hour all the time, and he makes you fight 3 minutes around. Drives him back with the jab again. Tszyu's having trouble keeping him away at times.
Tszyu's trying to box now. He's met him head on, doesn't like it, doesn't want to continue. Now he's trying to get a bit of space. He's trying to time him as he comes forward. This is when Tszyu is at his most dangerous. He knows what's required, but he's not finding it easy to execute.
Despite going out to 80 countries in the world, including Australia, where Tszyu is now a national hero. Sunday lunchtime there, and this going out live in America as well at peak time. It's big.
And Tszyu still just pot-shotting with single shots. He's not the one putting punches together. He did have the accuracy in the previous round, but I would say the Hatton corner feel things going according to plan. This is not what he wants. He's been caught at arm's length here.
He doesn't look at the end of the Tszyu punches. There's that left hook to the body again from Hatton. He does throw that punch wonderfully well, and then he clips Tszyu with a nice short right as well. The more authoritative punches are coming from Hatton. He's wasting a few as he does it, but his work rate is just phenomenal.
Well, Tszyu keeps trying to turn things around with that right hand. He's catching Hatton on the head and getting no change back. Hatton coming right through them. Still roughing them up.
Do worry about Hatton walking onto one of these.
Well, Ian, I think he's taken the shots that have knocked out other people, but he's taken them high, his chin's down.
Oh, that time he walked onto the left hook. He took that as well, but that might have taken something out of Hatton. He doesn't want to take too many of those. That was a sharp, horrible-looking punch from Tszyu, and he's finding a few hooks as he lays with his back to the ropes as well. And he says one was a bit low. Thinks one of those left hooks was a bit low from Hatton that time.
I think one of the problems for Ricky, he's not matching the quality of punch with Tszyu. Still that 100-mile-an-hour stuff, but not the quality. Tszyu beginning to find a little bit of space between them, and that's what he's doing. He's clipped him again with the hook. Ricky has to take chances, but not working out quite so well at the moment.
But he's really whipping up a storm. He's walking onto some of these. Tszyu's having a counter fight on the back foot. I think he kind of knew it was going to be like that. But what do the judges like here? Do they like Hatton's work rate, or maybe the slightly better quality from Tszyu? I mean, the rounds would be open to different interpretations, possibly, Jim.
Yeah, but you can see not a great difference in punches landed. But I have it 2 apiece. Ricky, the first 2 rounds, but I think the quality and accuracy from the champion in the 3rd and 4th round. But Ricky, still things going according to plan because he's making them work.
This is where Hatton gets caught, Jim.
See, that's the quality of the punches. That's what's missing from Ricky's work. Ricky's 100 miles per hour, so when the punches get through, they're not really landing so cleanly.
And his mother can hardly watch this, Carol. It must be absolute torture for her. Oh dear. I mean, it's so tense in here, isn't it?
I mean, it's an unbelievable effort so far from Ricky Hatton.
Watch out, right hand. Yeah, right at the start of the round, and another one. Oh dear. Now that was careless. Off the stool and straight into Tszyu's right hand. There's another one. He's measuring them.
Oh, he can't miss him with the right hand, Ian. I think the first one stunned him a bit. First signs of danger for Ricky Hatton.
He's just going to have to be a little cuter, maybe a little bit more side-to-side movement. He mustn't stay out there in the radar. This is not good from Hatton at the start of this round. These are worrying moments for him here now.
Well, when consecutive punches land cleanly on target, thankfully he took them on the forehead. His chin was down. But first signs of danger.
He's thrown everything at Tszyu, but this outstanding champion is still there and cool and starting to find some authoritative shots of his own.
Right. Still that untidy look about Ricky's work. I realise he has to keep on top, can't give this fellow a second to think, but we need a bit more quality in the punching.
As he's moved up in class, he hasn't stopped so many opponents, which suggests he's not a world-class mega hitter. And it's just pressure, pressure, pressure that's worn his opponents down. And he would hope to do that with Tszyu, but can he?
Look, Ricky trying some jabs there, which I don't think is part of the script, because that's you at arm's length with one of the best counter-punchers in the business, yet still walking on to him. There's just a recklessness about him, a lack of method at the moment.
Right hand again, getting through over the top, beautifully picked punch from Tszyu, who works and works and works at this kind of thing. It's not a freak. He thinks about every punch. He's worked out the strategy.
He's finding time, Ian. That's what he's doing. He's finding time, and what a difference in the action now that he's managing to do that. All we're talking about is split seconds. He's beginning to find them now. Still that good punch, but still that frantic look about Ricky's work.
There's just been a bit of a desperation look about him in this round. He might just be going through a bad period, I don't know. But he's just ploughing forward in straight lines and might pay a penalty for that. But he's still right in this fight.
The strength in his work might be dropping slightly, and maybe you can feel that, and he's beginning to go to work now. I mean, this is a crazy pace for Ricky. I mean, even by his own standards, because this is a competitive fight, and it's much tougher to maintain this. But he's been picked off with some beautiful punches, finishing the round well. But for me, that was a good round for the accurate champion.
Maybe significantly, Tszyu, just in the last minute of the round, his work rate dropped off, having had a good period. Maybe he is feeling this pace at 35. Interesting. Tszyu, you'll notice with his ponytail, which he says Hagler has his shaven skull.
Don't do that with this cunt, you know what I mean? Yeah. The problem is, the only problem you've got is no need to panic, because you're not quite getting enough room for your own punch because you've got to stay close. Do you know what I mean? You're just pushing him straight on, just round.
Sometimes, Ian, there's a recklessness about Ricky that worries me. He's walked straight on, looked away from the punches that was being thrown, tried to dip down, which probably saved the full impact. He's walked straight on, you can see looking behind. I mean, that was perfectly timed. And, I mean, he should know, Tszyu had started every round with a speculative right hand, and Ricky's walked right onto that one. The jab was working. The accurate punches for me in that round came from Tszyu.
Tszyu first won this title in his 14th fight against Jake Rodriguez 10 years ago.
There's that right hand again. He's done it every round. What is Ricky thinking of?
No Now he starts to lift it again. Look at the desire, and he drives Tszyu back against the ropes and off balance, and the crowd for a moment thought that Tszyu might be going down from that. I think he was caught mainly off balance, but suddenly Hatton, after this 14-week preparation, he's never been in better shape, found something extra again.
And Tszyu complaining about punches round the back of the head. It's always nice to see a confident champion complaining about something. That right hand again. Well, any doubts we had as Ricky Hatton, genuine world class, forget them now.
He's staying there with Kostya Tszyu. A lot of people thought the first 4 rounds of the fight, if Hatton could get to this point in the fight, he might be in serious business. He's still there, he's still competitive, he's not cut, he hasn't been shaken up. He's had to take some good punches, but he's landed plenty of his own as well. Now read on.
Left hook again. Anytime Tszyu gets him on his back foot, it's big trouble, because he's got room and he's got time to get these bombs off.
But Hatton's throwing more, isn't he? But less quality, perhaps.
Less quality, that's what worries me. Not so accurate. I mean, these are accurate hooks, jolting little right hands. But you could not ask any more from Ricky Hatton.
But will Tszyu begin to will? He went, dropped his hands and got caught by a right hand. Tszyu there, he does drop his hands sometimes. Hatton, I don't know.
He got a reaction from that punch, Ian.
He just might be starting to make the first impressions of this exceptional man.
He's coming through Tszyu's bombs. So how does Tszyu like that? What else does he have?
That will lift Ricky Hatton enormously if he can see or feel on the inside that Tszyu is just beginning to will, even in some small way. Oh, lovely shot from Tszyu, beautifully picked. Right hand and then a left hook as well. And Hatton again was 2 square on and 2 open. What a fight. Tremendous accuracy from Tszyu. He's keeping it on the outside. That's where Hatton doesn't want to be.
As soon as you give him time, Ian, this is what you get. This is a tough round to score. Ricky's put an awful lot into this. Some success. But again, the accurate stuff comes from Tszyu. This is a difficult round to score. See, there it will go again. Ricky, that little bit reckless.
And if he keeps on taking punches like that on the way in, it's going to take the toll later on in the fight, you would feel. I'd like to see him blocking more, slipping more, a bit more side-to-side movement. He's just diving in, hoping his speed will get him onto Tszyu's chest. But on the way through, he's getting picked off. Better quality punches from Kostya Tszyu, I thought, in that round, if we're honest.
Yep, I mean, Ricky could not put more into it. But I tell you, this is not a happy face we're looking at in this corner. He is not enjoying this. I mean, this is, Ricky made a statement at the start of the round here, and maybe he should have finished the round with a statement. He used up some steam there, but he got some good punches off him. We thought for a second, well, actually twice in that round, we thought we had a reaction from some of Ricky's punches. So, does he have the power to trouble Tszyu? We did not think so beforehand. Maybe he does.
Not the raw power, maybe, but the pressure, and the cumulative effect of it, Jim. Is your card, Jim?
Yeah, but just on the accuracy, we can see the excellent start. A couple of those rounds, Ricky could have got on sheer aggression, but I've always been impressed with the counter-punching accuracy of the champion.
I've got it level. I've given it 3 rounds each. You've got it 4 rounds to 2. But I think a lot of these rounds are definitely arguable, no doubt about it. Here's the 7th. We're into the second half of the fight. A lot of people, especially in America, didn't think Hatton would get this far.
Good left hook,
wasn't it? And it sent the sweat spraying from Kostya Tszyu's chin. Is he going to feel this, I wonder? He might say, OK, I destroyed Shanbei Mitchell in 3 rounds in my only fight in the last 2.5 years, but it's not an ideal preparation.
Is that left hook again? He's just so accurate. Is there a little bit of strength missing from Ricky's attacks here? Good body punch. There's more like it, Mr. Hatton.
He's still strong, Hatton, and that's significant, I think. And he's younger, 9 years younger. The second half of the fight, he may feel, might be his territory in these set of circumstances. A lovely right cross, made the angle for that very cleverly. Hatton, sometimes his skills are underrated. But tonight he has really been, if we're honest with you, the straight line brawler, hasn't he?
Yeah, but he knows he cannot give this man time to think, time to settle, a split second to get the punches off. See, again, Ricky's coming forward, but there's no method. The method is missing. This is better.
How's this going to pan out now, I wonder? Who's going to want this move? Great punches from Hatton. Listen to the crowd in here. 22,000 of them in the dead of night in Manchester. Hatton's caught again by a clever Tszyu shot. Even Stephen, you couldn't call the winner from here, could you?
That was 3 left hands without reply. Walked on to the 3 of them. I mean, it would be so easy to score some of these rounds to Ricky, but I just feel the quality, and again we're seeing it here. That little bit extra quality. You could not ask for any more effort from Hatton, but just not enough method in some of his work. That was better.
They're both tiring a bit, I think, and no wonder, because the pace has been frighteningly intense. Tszyu still very, very accurate. He doesn't waste very many punches, this fella. Just feel something's got to give sometime soon, don't you?
Yeah,
oh, that's
no, terrible blow from
Tszyu. Hatton's all right. The protective equipment's very good these days, and it needs to be after that.
I'll tell you what, Ian, that was a full-blooded shot, no question. And you can do without that, because that can sap energy as well. I think one more of them and we'll see a point.
The other little question to throw in here is some people wondering whether Tszyu might be a bit tight at the weight for this fight. We'll talk of him training since maybe having to go for an extra run to make the weight for the second weigh-in. I mean, that just could be talk. It's just something to throw into the equation.
Yeah, I don't think so. He's been at 10 stone too long. Okay, a couple of year lie-off, you could put on some weight, you could do without. But no, he's strong. He could not fight at this pace. Was that a stumble from Ricky, or was that a punch? Again, I think the quality of the champion.
You've got to slip his jab and use your own as you're coming in. So snap his head back a little bit, then you can get in. I want you getting back up on the ropes where he's not as dangerous. But then you've got to do your work. Do what you do best and give him angles stepping round. But don't come too far out. Don't give anyone to punch you back. But now you've got to start giving him something. You'll get him to the head. You're not when he's throwing shots, you're not slipping and counting him.
We're still seeing, oh, that was well low, and that was a full-blooded shot too. Ricky did well not to be making more of that. I mean, Hatton's driving himself forward. He's having good little spells. That was the punch again that got a reaction from Tszyu. But if you look at the punches, they're partially blocked for catching shoulders and elbows, but he's being caught cleanly on the chin as he comes forward.
Tszyu's 16 World Championship fights, he stopped or knocked out 12 of his opponents. Here comes round number 8. And not to evoke memories of Barry McGuigan's famous win over Eusebio Pedrosa 10 years ago. To go down alongside the big boxing nights in this country. Lovely jab turned into a hook by Hatton at the last moment as well, cleverly.
Both feeling the pace.
Who's got the most strength? Hatton drawing energy from the crowd, leaping left hooks from in the game. He's prepared to walk through walls in pursuit of this dream tonight. And it must feel like he's run into a wall a couple of times as well.
I mean, the commitment that he's shown tonight is unbelievable against, as we say, one of the most dangerous punchers in the business. He's never left him for a second. He's made him work, but I'm sure Ricky would have hoped that by now it would be evident that Tszyu was beginning to tire. Good stuff here from Hatton. This is a better round so far for Hatton.
Hold it on, man. Let him go. Fight!
Yes, spoken Hatton again. He's better movement from him. He walked onto one right hand. More of the authoritative punches at the moment coming from Hatton, who still looks strong. Another right hand from Tszyu, who must be wondering when these sledgehammer shots of his are going to take some effect. He must be wondering what he's got to do to stop Hatton keep charging into him like this.
I think it's amazing that Ricky's eyes have held up so far. Maybe I shouldn't even mention that. I'm tempting fate, because he's took some thunderous punches and he's taken them high on the forehead.
By the way, our American colleagues on Showtime had the fight level at halfway. That was about as I had it. Jim had it by 4 rounds to 2 to Tszyu. Too close to call at the moment. It's a thriller.
Well, Ricky hasn't changed anything, hasn't altered. He's obviously happy. These retires are just a stumble.
No knockdown. Maybe a sign that they are two tired fighters. You can feel the mutual respect between these two. I think you're right what you said. Whatever happens now, Ricky Hatton's proved tonight he belongs with the elite. Yeah.
Tszyu is breathing with the mouth open now, Ian. The mouth is open. Is he tired? Is there trouble? Don't see any trouble with the jaw. But that's a real sign of tiredness. The mouth gaping like a goldfish at times.
I think his legs are a bit slower as well, Tszyu.
Well, Ricky has turned things around a little bit in this round. He's looking in the driving seat again.
Yeah. Maybe Hatton took that one.
Making this cost, making this and then jump on him, mate.
A bucket?
Spit on the floor.
The floor is fine.
More water. In your mouth, Frank. You need some water.
Trainer Johnny Lewis. Not much going on in there, is there?
You would expect them to be told to push Ricky back, meet him in the centre of the ring, meet him hang on, never back off.
On us, mate. Don't be on the ropes. Because it's important to jab him hard, bring him under. He's going to rush out, mate.
I think this is a crucial round in the fight. Lovely uppercut from Hatton. Tried to follow with hook. But this happened a couple of times, but not so often in that round as the previous ones. But I think this is an important stage in the fight, and Ricky has just had a good round. So, is this going to be significant?
Landed. A few more by Hatton. Round 9, getting into the home stretch phase of this fight. Now, two tired fighters they must be after this frenetic pace we've had all night long here. We thought this would be a dramatic night. It's proved to be that. But will one of them wilt? Will one of them feel it late on?
Well, Ricky looks to me to have found a second wind, that they're trading right hands, and Ricky doesn't complain about it.
The fact is that Hatton has put in a big performance, as he promised his fans he would do. As he said, the fact that he hasn't fought at this level before doesn't mean that he can't.
Body language signs that Tszyu is trying to hide here. He's not happy with this pace.
Mouth gaping open a little bit too, and just a bit of blood around, getting marked up around the face. I think he's finding this hard, very hard. Now
he is finding this almost impossible. He does not like this. I think the previous round was significant. In a fight like this, there's usually one round that turns out one way or the other. And I have the feeling it may have turned it in Ricky Hatton's favour.
Smashing right hand from him too, and less of the counters now from Tszyu, who's just beginning, you feel, to be a little bit sickened by all of this. He's running into a hurricane called Hatton.
Look, can't get any punches off. He is really beginning to look exhausted, Kostya Tszyu, and running out of ideas.
Perpetual motion, whirling dervish type stuff from Ricky Hatton. Work, work, then more work. Left hook, right uppercut on the inside. Then he bustles Tszyu against the ropes. It's his kind of fight at the moment. This is a big period in the fight for Hatton. Listen to the crowd as well now, trying to lift him towards the finish line.
Well, Ricky has taken Tszyu's punches when he was at his strongest, so you wouldn't expect him to spring anything now. Okay, it can happen, but it would be a surprise. Ricky really looking good now.
Just looking a little bit unsteady, and the mouth gaping open, Kostya Tszyu. He's definitely tiring. I think Hatton knows too, and has been lifted by the fact that he can feel he's just getting to Tszyu a bit.
And Ricky's been involved fighting at this pace several times. Tszyu has never. Low punch again. You can see a point being deducted. I would imagine yet he's been told that is the last warning.
Oh, that was another low one. He might be in trouble there. Very low one. He'll have 5 minutes to get over this if he needs to.
Well, I think he'll take it, and I'll be surprised if he doesn't take it, because he is struggling with the pace here.
People are standing in the aisles now in expectation. That's knocked a lot out of Tszyu. Does he make a lot of that? He's entitled to, and Hatton, is he going to have a point deducted for this? I mean, in reality, what do you think, Jim?
No, I mean, he's taken 2 low blows himself. You can't expect him to knock a point. It was accidental. Ricky is a body puncher. But there's Tszyu, as I thought, with his experience, he's taken every second here he can get, because he needed this rest. He was struggling badly.
It's significant he is taking a good long rest as well. Seems all right now. Yep, I'm okay, he says. There's been a great atmosphere between the two fighters all week. No phony ballyhoo, no trash talking. They're clean it up, says Dave Harris. The referee, by the way, who gets married in a couple of months' time as well, so quite a year for him. Uppercut again from Hatton.
There's a tired look about Tszyu's punching as well now. His head's not moving. This fight has turned all the way around.
Hatton is some kind of wild marauder in there tonight. Again. He might have won the last 3 rounds.
Yep, he certainly won the last 2.
It's a strong bastard. You want his tight, they've got to dig deep now and fucking start throwing more shots, you know what I mean?
Well, no question, that was well south of the border, and I knew Tszyu would take full advantage of the little break there, because he was struggling at that point. Yep, Hatton, again, the first time maybe since the first and second round, Hatton beginning to bully Tszyu again, getting the punches off. His work is looking effective now. He's pushing Tszyu back so that there's no weight in the punches coming back his way. The tactics are spot on, they've been spot on all the way through. They were dangerous, but he's beginning to get results, I feel.
There's an amazing sense of excitement and expectation around here now, because the crowd sense that Hatton is ahead, but there could still be more drama to come. Tszyu is picked up again on the ropes. This man who's only been beaten once, back in 1997, by Vince Phillips, who later became a Hatton victim. He was pretty old by then, mind you. There's another left. Goes in from Hatton, who's having things pretty much his own way. And what happened to the Tszyu counters? Much less of them now, Jim.
Yeah, I think the strength has gone from Tszyu's punches. His movements have slowed. He's been caught cleanly to the head, which wasn't happening. He's struggling badly. Ricky Hatton is going to win this, Ian.
It's a big shout, Jim. I hope you're right. He's wilted a little bit by that right hand.
He's taken the best that Tszyu can hand out when Tszyu was strong. Now Tszyu is struggling.
Hatton might even sense that he could stop this famous champion. He's all over him at the moment, and the crowd in here are going absolutely potty. Forget sleep tonight.
He's just so fired up, he's just totally disregarding the punches that have come his way all night long. He has been caught with Tszyu's best, but he's just taken them and come through them.
It's an unanswerable fire and desire. There's a right hand back from Tszyu. Just a little reminder to Hatton not to be too careless with it. This man is not a champion for nothing. Never, ever write him off, but I think what you said, Jim's right. There will be less in his punches now. You'd think so anyway. Maybe the strength has gone a bit from him, but he does have an enormous capacity to dig very deep, and he's trying to do that now as Hatton moves across the ring like some kind of wild jungle cat at him.
Yep, suddenly for the first time he's looking all of his 35 years. Ricky Hatton has made him work every second of every round, and he's been caught with full-bodied punches, and his head's gone back.
He's looking a little bit unsteady, I think, Tszyu, as he was driven back there, and his legs seem to stiffen again, and I think he's having to really go to the well now to stay in this fight. Still good shots from him, mind you, there.
Yeah, but not too many these days.
Lovely uppercut from Hatton, then a body shot, then another uppercut. Oh, and it's got him again on those ropes. Tszyu is trapped there. There's nowhere to hide. He's in a very dark place in there at the moment.
This is a wonderful round for Ricky Hatton.
Oh, he's taken everything.
He's walking through them, he's walking right through them.
It's unbelievable, that, really. That is a big round for Hatton, and he's beginning to pull away, certainly on our cards anyway. He might be 6 minutes away from something very, very special.
He took his fucking best shots now. You be careful of his fox, you've got to keep working. You know what I mean? Yeah. Got the fucking gas from tomorrow. It's there now for the taking. Just be careful of that big shot. You took everything he's got. And you've got to work your balls off now. Yeah. This is it. Get some more on his head. Loads on his head.
I don't think Tszyu can find anything. I think his tank's empty. His pride and his courage, all he has left. Ricky is even more fired up now. He's coming through everything that's coming his way, just totally disregarding what Tszyu has.
By the way, we do apologise for some of the industrial, emotive language in the corners, but I think you kind of understand you're on the inside of a mega fight. 11th round. Tszyu tries something right at the start of the round with the right hand.
He's actually tried that every round with the right hand. Ricky is expecting it now.
Mustn't get careless, Hatton has to stay cool. Lost his balance there, Tszyu. One or two of the fighters earlier on the undercard did that as well. I think it's a bit of a slippy canvas there. Tszyu!
Look at the tiredness in the legs, Ian.
Yeah.
Stumbling and staggering all over the place.
I think his instinct and his quality as a champion is just keeping him in there at the moment. Oh, it's a good shot from Tszyu there. He might look to come on strong. He is coming on a bit strong. But Hatton has an answer again.
I would not have believed Tszyu could find the strength and energy to deliver these good shots again, but Ricky's still coming through them.
You do wonder how the judges have got this. I've got Hatton in a useful lead, but that's just my card.
Well, I had Tszyu well ahead in the early stages. Hatton has trimmed it back. I have them level at the moment, but the fight has turned strongly in Hatton's favour.
Good jab from Hatton, re-establishing himself a bit with that one. Drives Tszyu back across the ring. Oscar De La Hoya called Kostya Tszyu an animal, a beast, a man who's only in there to knock you out. But he's been on the receiving end of a lot from Hatton in this fight. Hatton's got better in the second half of the contest.
Yeah, well, that was obviously the plan. Sit on his chest, to stay there all the way through the fight. We can work every second of every round, and now it's paying dividends.
Tszyu's found something a little bit extra when he seemed as if he was starting to really fade.
He can't sustain anything. Hatton is still sustaining what he's doing.
Lovely uppercut. He really has outbrawled and outworked Tszyu at times in there. Heads came dangerously close to banging together, but it's probably too late for any cut to be a factor here now.
Tszyu is in survival mode at the moment, just waiting for the bell to finish this round. Can't really muster anything.
Everything they worked on in that Phoenix gym, or a lot of it anyway, has paid off. He's had to come through some bad moments, but they knew that too. One round left. One round left. Hatton's landed more punches. Jim, how are you scoring this fight now with 3 minutes to go?
I have Hatton back in front again. I had him in front after the first 2 rounds. Then for me, the quality of the champion's punches got him in front, but I have Hatton 1 point up. But I wouldn't be surprised if the judges have been impressed with Hatton's aggression and they have it further. There's my scorecard there. 105, 104. All he needs is 1 more good round and he's done the unbelievable. That was just the slipping of the canvas, but quite rightly, Ricky took full advantage of that. I think they've retired something going on in the corner.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Dave Paris is talking. The Tszyu's corner, it is over. The dream is made real. Ricky Hatton rocks the world with a truly stunning win over a modern legend. He is the champion of the world. The hitman really has arrived in the big time. What a performance, what a night here in Manchester. They are in tears in that corner. Tszyu retired on his stool.
Ian, all the predictions of all the experts before the fight, who would have said Ricky Hatton would force Kostya Tszyu to quit on his stool? Unbelievable. There's the family. Look at the family. We can only imagine how they feel. Look at Ricky. Fantastic performance from first bell until it was over.
Absolute bedlam around this arena. The family celebrate. What a moment for Ricky Hatton. Derided by a lot of critics in America, he's stuffed the words right down their throat tonight.
No one in America gave Ricky the slightest chance. They were looking upon him as a two-round job. They were saying Ricky Hatton's style was made for Kostya Tszyu. I have to be honest, Ian, I thought myself that his style would suit Tszyu, but his passion, his commitment, and just what he was prepared to give of himself, Tszyu could never match that. Unbelievable.
Destiny calling for Ricky Hatton. He's worked so long for this. Oh, what joy, what joy. They said he was a protected fighter, some people. Now this is the moment when Hatton realised his lifetime dream. With 3 minutes to go in the fight, Hatton, I can tell you, was ahead on all three cards anyway at the time. They pulled Tszyu out. Over.
Tszyu had absolutely nothing left. When we say champions should go out in their shield, but you can't blame the man. His reputation is sound forever. Wonderful champion. Sad to see him out, but we are delighted for Ricky Hatton.
I wonder whether that might be curtains for Kostya Tszyu after a wonderful career, and he's been a fantastic service. But this is Hatton's night, and I tell you what, multi-million-dollar paydays will open up for him after this in America. Everyone will want to fight him. He's such fantastic value in the ring. He's such a dramatic, exciting fighter. They'll be queuing up for
him. The Americans love his style, and he has just become public enemy #1 because everyone will want to share the ring with Ricky to make the big bucks. And thankfully, he's in a wonderful division. Look at a man beaten.
He just walked into Hurricane Hatton tonight. That's what happened. The sheer fire, desire, intensity of Hatton. He would not be denied. And he fully deserved it. I had him in a pretty handy lead of about 3 points going into that last round. I know Jim had it a little bit closer than that. But Hatton, a deserving winner, a wonderful winner. And this is a night for British boxing to go with the great ones like Barry McGuigan's win over Eusebio Pedrosa, or even Randolph Turpin's legendary win over Sugar Ray Robinson.
I think it will eclipse some of those. I think this performance will eclipse some of those.
And don't forget as well, Lloyd Hunnigan beating Don Curry. It's alongside those.
This is the second he realises he was champion of the world. He had beaten the best of the best.
You've done it. Look at Billy Graham. Great credit to him as well. What a job he's done with Ricky Hatton. This is a night that they will never forget in Manchester, or indeed the rest of Britain.
No, this is a fantastic performance. I mean, keeping in mind, very few people gave him a chance, as we were saying. The Americans thought it was a two-round job. Boy, will they be eating humble pie, but the phone lines will be hot within the next few days.
The very dignified Tszyu bows to the crowd. Hatton takes the salutes, but the baton has been well and truly passed on tonight.
Yep, and Ricky, I think, can name his price and name his opponent. He is one of the hottest fighters on the planet at the moment.
Jim, nice guys do finish first sometimes, yes?
There you go, and it's nice when it happens. He said he would do it, okay, very few people believed him, but a wonderful performance from start to finish. He took everything that a superb champion had to offer, walked through it, and come back with something that little bit better. Sometimes it was untidy, I used the word frantic a couple of times, but he was always doing what he wanted to do, make the 35-year-old champ work for every second of the fight. Wonderful performance.
I don't think he can quite take it all in. There's only one Ricky Hatton. I tell you what, Kostya Tszyu glad about that.
Well, I think a couple of times Kostya Tszyu was thinking we surrounded with maybe 2 or 3 Ricky Hattons.
He was sensational tonight. Yeah, he made a few technical mistakes early on. He was diving in a bit too much, but basically they got it right, didn't they?
Yep, the plan was to make this fella work every second because the 35-year-old legs, and that's what he did. Nothing that Tszyu did discouraged Ricky. He took his best, and believe me, Ian, he got caught with the best punches that Tszyu could offer, and he took them and walked through them, never deterred for a second.
Might be the end for Kostya Tszyu. They'll discuss that soon. Floyd Mayweather fights Arturo Gatti in a mega fight in this division in the United States, and it doesn't take the greatest imagination for somebody to come up with the idea of the 2 winners meeting each other, though they are with rival TV companies, which might be a bit of a factor on the American front. Hatton has done it. Say it and believe it. He's the champion of the world against all the odds. He's confounded them all. It's Ricky Hatton's great night here in Manchester.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 11. Our referee in charge, Dave Paris, stops the contest upon suggestion of the corner. He is the winner by way of technical knockout, still undefeated, and now the new IBF light welterweight champion of the world, Ricky the Hitman Hatton.
Well, the first Hitman is moving towards getting as famous as the original one, Tommy Hearns. Now the celebrations begin. Playing his tune again. He looks like he's fresh enough to do it again, Hatton.
Yeah, but I don't think we'll bother asking him. I mean, in wonderful condition. We've seen him box at that pace before, but never in such a competitive fight.
Hatton's going to speak to the audience here.
Manchester! I always said I'd be #1, and you know what? You, me loyal fans, deserve it as much as me. We did it together tonight. And I tell you what, there's only one word I can use for your support tonight, and that was legendary. God bless you all. I mean it.
A memorable night here
and I think you'll agree,
in Manchester.
If I can be half the champion Kostya Tszyu was, I'd have been doing well. So give Kostya a great champion. A round of applause, please, for me.
Well said indeed. And Tszyu appreciates that. He has been a fantastic fighter, Kostya Tszyu.
Can you be quiet for a little while? At least for the end of the fight. Thank you. You know, I'm a proud man. I am very, very proud man. And I'm not saying that it's the end of my career. Maybe yes, maybe no. But I'm saying that today I lost to the better fighter. And it's not shame for me to say this. Honestly. Because, you know, I'm a very strategical fighter. I'm playing lots of things. I'm planning lots of things for this fight, but today Ricky was better than me in everywhere. And I'm doing this boxing for 27 years. As I said, I'm very proud. Ricky, God bless you.
And as I said to you before, any help from me, always welcome, mate.
Isn't that fantastic? Between those two fighters after a fight like that. What a great night for the sport.
I tell you
of
what,
boxing
I'm just about to say, I hope the boxing knockers are listening to this. This is what true sportsmanship is all about. Fighters who can pummel each other for 11 rounds non-stop, then cuddle and exchange compliments. Wonderful, wonderful night for boxing.
It's a wonderful night for the sport, a sport that some have sought to marginalise in recent times. I think this is a bit of a revival night for British boxing, and it's led by Ricky Hatton, whose sheer excitement as a fighter and force of personality has lifted him to stardom even in this difficult era for any fighter.
Yeah, but as they say, the old cliche, it could not happen to a nicer bloke, and that is the case. Ricky will not change one bit. With this one performance, he's become a superstar. All the doubters will be eating their words. And as I say, public enemy number one, name your prize, name your opponent.
And he's talking now, the new champion of the world, Ricky the Hitman Hatton, with Adam Smith.
After almost 8 professional years and 39 fights, you are the world light welterweight champion, having beaten one of the best fighters of modern times. Can you possibly put this into words?
No, I really can't, because you know me and Kostya are 2 champions that don't do a lot of talking, a lot of bad mouthing. You know, we acted like 2 champions tonight, outside and inside the ring, and to beat somebody like Kostya Tszyu is like winning. You know, that's the end of the rainbow stuff for me. Winning a world title is something, but to beat someone like Kostya Tszyu is absolutely fantastic. And I'm not one who normally shouts my mouth off, but I did say from day one I could do it, and I've done it, and I've done it with the help of all these fans and with all the doubters. I've done it. I said I'd do it, I've done it. Billy said we'd do it, Frank said we'd do it, and we've done it. And I thank the fans, not just in Manchester, all over the country for the support.
Most of the critics thought that Kostya Tszyu would blow you away. What got you through the first few rounds of the fight, Ricky?
Balls of steel, I think, is the word. You know, I knew I was going to take a few shots, but as you could see in the first few rounds, I didn't mind even if he won the first 4 rounds or so. I just wanted to stay close, sit on top of him, try and drain his strength, take the speed from him, and then try and go through the gears as I could. And I think that's what I did. Obviously, I had to take some haymakers, but please, God, don't tell me I shouldn't have done it. You know, you're supposed to take shots from Kostya Tszyu, you know what I mean? He's one hell of a champion, and really, my style is made for his in many ways, but I showed me class, I showed me smartness. I did get picked off and caught sometimes, but ain't someone like that going to do that?
From when you first met Kostya Tszyu about 3.5 years ago, you always believed you had the style to give him trouble, to come on late. But how did you put that in reality, Ricky?
Well, I knew I just had to get through the first 4 or 5 rounds, be nice and smart, and take as little punishment as possible, and try and come on in the latter part of the fight. And I think that's what I did. I think what I did basically, I found a way to win. I did it with, you know, not necessarily boxing ability, but the boxing brain between my ears. I was clever and smart, smothered his work, you know, drained him of his strength, and then started coming on. I'll have to watch it on the tape, but I think the last 5 rounds I went like a Trojan, you know, and just he couldn't keep me off, you know.
It looked like nothing would stop you from winning tonight. You had 22,000 fans cheering you on. How much did they help you, Ricky?
You know what? 22,000, I tell you what, it felt like 42,000 in here tonight. It was absolutely electric. And, you know, I've been lined up with big opponents in the last 12 months, and unfortunately they've not come off, and as disappointing it's been for me, I'm sure it's been disappointing for the fans as well, but they've still turned out in the droves, in the thousands, every single time, and this is mine and their reward tonight, I think.
It's been a dream of yours since you were a kid. Now you are the best light welterweight in the world, and you've beaten Kostya Tszyu, who is one of the best in history, and the respect from Kostya Tszyu at the end was quite phenomenal. I think that's a credit to the sport, isn't it, as well, Ricky?
Unbelievable, and Kostya come up to me after, he said, you were the better man, you deserve to win. He said, and if you ever need any help and advice in your career, he said, I'll give you my phone number and I'll always be there for you. And I tell you what, that's not a champion, that's a champion and a half.
Ricky Hatton, you've fulfilled your dream. You've given us one of the best British boxing years, maybe in 20, 30 years. What do you do now? Is it off to the pub tomorrow for your bad shirt day?
Well, for the last couple of weeks, I've been away from the two closest friends in the world, Mr. Guinness and Mr. Dom Perrier. So we're going to have a couple of hours with him tonight, and then we'll sit down with Frank and Billy and discuss where we go from here. Don't forget, I've only just reached my peak. I've become a champion now. Now I want to try and become a great champion. You know, I want to try and be an even better champion.
There's tears of joy around ringside. I've got to say, it couldn't have happened to a nicer fella. Well done, Ricky.
The celebrations are only getting started. His town, his time, the night of his life, the ticket to the best light welterweight in the world. But did we ever think that he could break the heart of Kostya Tszyu?
There's something going on in the corner.
Let's have a look here. Dave Parrish is talking. Tszyu's got it, it's over! The dream is made real! Ricky Hatton rocks the world with a truly stunning win over a modern legend. He is the champion of the world!
Barry, did he break his heart?
Yeah, he broke his heart. He, you know, there was so many questions. He couldn't take the shots. He had no class. He walked in, he was wide open. We said all along that he was a world-class fighter. The Americans doubted him. They said he had no class. He couldn't. How many guys has Kostya Tszyu knocked out? I mean, the list is endless. He walked through all of those shots. He stuck to his game plan. He kept the pace high. At times it looked untidy, but he said at the end he found a way to win. He's an intelligent guy. He was phlegmatic the whole way towards this fight, keeping his cool, confident, knowing he could do it. He was fabulous. That was a fabulous performance.
Well, I mean, even the big punches from Tszyu, you know, he was shaken slightly a few times, but never was he in real trouble throughout the whole fight. You know, both of them were landing big shots, and it was a brilliant fight.
Glenn?
They both had so much, didn't they? They had the punch, they had the skill, the stamina, but above all, what won it for Ricky Hatton was his sheer will to win. You know, he just wanted it so much more. It was time for a new champion.
Yes, Hatton won it all right, but we need to credit the man who has guided him every step of the way. Billy Graham, what a night for him.
Yep, Billy Graham has been with Ricky since the end of the amateurs. It's a dream for you as much as it is for the Hitman, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it's a dream come true for me, but, you know, I told everybody, I know I'm repeating myself, but I told everybody when he was 17 that this day would come. We talked about it, we were dreaming about it, and to be honest with you, I told Ricky that Johnny Lewis would pull Costa out. I told you that he'd pull Costa out. I studied Johnny Lewis. He's a great man. He's a lovely fellow, and he loves his fight, and he loves Kostya Tszyu.
Billy, you sat ringside 3.5 years ago watching Kostya Tszyu annihilate Zab Judah, and then you told us that your man had the style to beat him. How are you so sure?
Because I know Kostya Tszyu's an all-time great, but my friend Ricky, my mate, my boxer, he's going to be an all-time great. And I said that from the start. I told you all.
He had to go through some severe punishment in there. Was that part of the plan? He just had to take the shots and keep coming on?
The plan wasn't to take the shots. The plan was to avoid the shots, but no, we prepare for everything. I always tell my boxers the truth. And I told him he'd have to come through some scary moments and he'd have to suck it up and just stay close. And maybe if you don't win the first few rounds, maybe don't win any the first few rounds to get him in the end. Because you know, you can't have a sharpshooting contest with Kostya Tszyu when he's fast and fiery, because you're going to get knocked out.
Barry McGuigan said up in the studio that he broke Kostya Tszyu's heart. Do you think that was down to the way you trained for this fight, the fact that he was bang on?
Well, we always train 100%, you know, but, you know, fighters win fights, trainers just help. I like to think that played a big part, but, you know, Ricky was in there taking the shots.
Billy, you were the guide. Just put it into words. Ricky could hardly. What does it mean to you to have trained the world-light welterweight champion?
Undisputed. It means the world to me. Boxing is my life. You know what I mean? It just means the world to me. I'm just the happiest man, except for Ricky Hatton in this arena.
Go and enjoy it, Billy.
Thank you. I'm going for a cig.
He's too modest to admit it, Barry, but he's played a huge part in getting the plan right for this, hasn't he? And we saw it from the off here.
He was fabulous, fabulous. But this performance, look at how cut Ricky Hatton was. Kerry Kayes, Bobby Rimmer, the whole team were fabulous. The fighters are in there throwing the punches, but the team behind them are so important.
Nicky, Hatton had a very clear plan as to what to do from the off, though, didn't he?
He did. I mean, Jim was saying he looked reckless. he wasn't reckless. This was exactly the same way as he boxed other fights. He was made to look reckless by a brilliant boxing champion.
But he had to do it.
But he had to do it. He had to go the same way.
Under pressure. He had to take punches because he could not walk forward without against a sharpshooter like this guy without getting nailed.
The best fighter in the world. You've got to go and establish your dominance. You've got to go and tell him, listen, I'm not here to play a second fiddle to you. I'm here to take your title. And he went out there, and that's exactly what he did.
And it was winning ugly. And that's, I mean, in the early rounds, it was winning ugly. But the great thing about it was, at this stage, he was taking shots. He was relentless.
Exactly.
He was hitting the body, hitting the head.
They were prepared to put him in the line of fire, weren't they?
Well, I think, you know, Ricky knew that he was going to be in the line of fire. You're not going to look good against Kostya Tszyu. It's never going to be easy. You're going to have to take your knocks, take your pain, come through it all.
They told
and in the end, he broke his spirit as well as his heart.
Glenn, they told us he couldn't possibly physically out muscle someone like Kostya Tszyu. This guy, Ricky Hatton, is the strongest light welterweight in the world.
Nonetheless, Barry, there was a period, middle rounds, where you thought the great man is taking over here now.
There was that section where he just started to show his authority. He just started to sit back on his punches, catch Ricky coming in. There was those lovely those short little shots, about 7 inches long, where he was just turning his wrist at the end and he was catching him flush. And Ricky,
and we've seen that fights turn around involving Kostya Tszyu like that
very
so
much so. It just seems a matter of time. The chin seemed to be coming up from Hatton, and you thought at that point he was going to get hit with a good.
But Nicky, here's the thing: Ricky Hatton's innate boxing brain, his ability to think his way out of a problem. He showed that here tonight, didn't he?
He was brilliant under pressure. You know, under the extreme pressure of all that was going on, he thought, you know, he came through a rough patch in the middle. He was being hit low, and he came back. And he really lifted for the last part of the fight. The last 3 or 4 rounds, he won quite handily. You know, he had to take the stamina away from Kostya Tszyu.
You know, Ricky Hatton's got a big engine. He's got so much stamina, so much power and strength.
Ricky Hatton got hit with 2 low blows. He had the sense of mind, and this is a rough business. Let's not forget it. He had the sense to hit Kostya Tszyu with a low one as well. And that took a lot of thought under that much pressure, you know, just to let him know, come on, you're not going to bully me in this.
And it was at this stage that he started just to come on strong.
But just in the 11th round, do you think that Kostya Tszyu gave it one last grandstand bid to turn it round?
I think he was all out at that stage, and I think the next 3 minutes he would have crumbled. And Hatton was just so driven tonight. He was unstoppable. He was not going to be beaten
I think
tonight.
actually, Barry, looking at the face when he did the interview at the end, I think he actually fractured his cheekbone or broke his jaw. I think he was really swollen on one side.
For him to sit on his stool, a great champion like Kostya Tszyu was, you know, he must have given it all in the 11th round. He'd thrown every last thing he had. He knew there was nothing else.
I knew he was behind on points.
It takes a lot for a man like that to quit on his stool.
He's a proud, laudable, formidable champion. Great respect for him, and he handled it so well afterwards.
Mum and Dad who've been with Ricky Hatton every night he's fought as a professional. What a part they played for him in his career. The fight stats for this: well, punches thrown, 813 from Ricky Hatton, almost double Kostya Tszyu's total through the fight, and 202 landed to 175, Barry. Now, I just want to point out as well, on all 3 cards, Ricky Hatton was ahead.
Yeah, without doubt. You know, we were trying to be safe about it. We had him a couple of rounds up, but it was the way he was winning the rounds, the last couple of rounds, that was so significant. Kostya Tszyu was all out. He was finished, and his strength and his will and his determination, it just wore him down, and he found a way to win. And let me tell you something, this is a multi-talented fighter. He's not just an aggressive attacking fighter. He can box, he can fight. He showed he could take immense punches right on the button and come through it all and find a way to win. He is a fabulous fighter.
I think Kostya Tszyu really expected after the first 4 rounds that Hatton was going to tie. He couldn't believe that Hatton would keep this up, and then suddenly he gave all his best for those 3 or 4 rounds in the middle. It didn't work, and then suddenly mentally I think Tszyu was just deflated.
The shirt says it all. There really is just one Ricky Hatton, and we've seen that from 17 years of age, that this young man has something special, and I think is destined to be one of the great British fighters of all time.
He's got such humility. That's the great thing about it. We all wanted him to win because he's such a humble, gentleman type of guy, family man, everything about him. He just loves his family. It could not happen to a nicer guy. He's fabulous.
Thank you, gentlemen. Back down to ringside Johnny Nelson is with Adam Smith.
Magnificent boxing occasion this, really. And Johnny, you were the one, or one of the many, that had picked Tszyu to win in the middle rounds. You were living every punch for Ricky.
That's
there, weren't
right.
you, though?
Ricky, I said Ricky had to control the pace from the off and take him out of it. I did not think Ricky was nearly fit enough to keep that pace up all the way through. He broke to result. Let's put things into perspective. It's not very often we get fights like this in this country, very often. So for this to happen, you know, it's a feeling that unless you were here, you will never, ever understand. And it's the best thing that could have happened for him.
Was it stamina, willpower,
stamina,
desire? What about his chin?
Will, you know, he was cool, calm and collected. He drew on all his experience of all these fights in the past. And to become a champion, you've got to be clever enough to be able to do that throughout a fight. Ricky did everything that nobody expected.
As one of the many world champions that was watching at ringside, are you as proud as you've ever been of a British fighter?
My shirt is absolutely soaking. I felt like I was fighting myself. And when he fell on the floor after the fight, he had no intention to do that. He thought, I'll keep cool and win. And it's like someone's lifted a spirit out of you. And that kid, you know, I know exactly what he felt. And I was nearly bubbling up over myself, and I thought, good boy, you know, the best thing for him. The fittest man won.
Terrific night, Paul.
And Russell Crowe is in there to congratulate Ricky Hatton too. It's true Hollywood stuff, isn't it? And Hatton's on his way to becoming a huge name around the world in his own field. We'll relive it all for you. Hatton Tszyu, the final judgment, comes on Sky Sports 1 on Thursday night from 9:30. Don't miss any of it. All over again. A truly fantastic night. Thank you for sharing it with us. We'll all remember it, won't we? Glenn, Nicky and Barry.
It was an honour.
And you said it could happen.
It was an honour.
You were all proven right. Ricky Hatton's dreams and all of ours have come true here. Bye for now.
Spoken to be broken, feelings are intense, words are trivial, pleasures remain, so does the pain, words are meaningless and forgettable. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Words are very unnecessary, they can only
a pulsating, turbocharged atmosphere in here as Hatton makes the running early. It's a good start this by Hatton so far.
Better. He's getting caught with quality punches on the way in.
There's that left hook to the body again from Hatton. He does throw that punch wonderfully well. And then he clips Tszyu with a nice short right as well. The more authoritative punches are coming from Hatton.
You cannot ask any more from Ricky Hatton.
But will Tszyu begin to will? He went, dropped his hands and got put by a right hand. Hatton might even sense that he could stop this famous champion.
There's something going on in the corner.
Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Here Dave Ferris is talking. Tszyu scoring. He's over.